Hi friends, in our time together today, I'll introduce John Ryan's polka, or the Armagh Polka, and a few other names. This is one of really the most popular polkas. You'll hear it played a lot. Actually, some people say it's overplayed, but whether it's overplayed or not, it's still a tune we should know. And it's a really fun tune to play. It has some real benefits for our skill development that I'll talk about in just a bit. We'll follow our usual pattern. I'll walk us through the tune standing. There's an A part and a B part. I'll walk us through each of those. And then I'll have the play along with Scott section where slowly I'll play through the entire tune, the core of the tune without ornamentation. We'll talk about any challenges you might experience learning the tune and playing it, talk about some ornamentation and expression, and we'll also walk through a bit of the history of the tune, what little we know of it as it goes. And I'll also provide a link at the very top of the notes to this video so that you could download the music and tabs for this fun polka. I'm still having some trouble with the software I use to transcribe music. I currently use the free version of Muse Score, and they have a tin whistle tabs plugin. Well, with the latest update to Muse Score, the tin whistle tabs doesn't work any longer, and I have a Mac, and the fix that they recommend doesn't work on a Mac. So I am still searching for replacement software. If you know something, shoot a comment in the notes because I'm on the hunt for something a little more stable. MuseScore has been great for me, but it's probably time for me to upgrade and do something else. Remember, the transcription I'm providing is my best effort at providing the core of the tune. Now, this is a tune that you'll actually find a little less variation in a lot of the transcriptions, and I'm glad of that. But some of the transcriptions actually include some of the flourishes. So I'm trying to pare it down to the core of the tune that I hear most often played. And so flourish your guts out with it. Now, if you go somewhere and you play with some other folks, you're probably going to hear slight variation off of what's played, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not worried about that. What I want to do is to provide us with a core of the tune so that you could learn the core of the tune. If you're playing with some other folks and they're doing something slightly different, that's okay. You won't have to learn the whole tune. You'll have to just learn that little bit of thing they're doing slightly differently. All right, so here is the A part that is repeated. All right, you're going to repeat that. I was thinking I was going to play on the new Howard with the close finger spacing, but then I realized that it might not be as easy for you to watch my fingers. So I'll play that on my practice session. Here, my friends, is the B part. So that's how the tune goes. The A part, you play that and repeat it. And then you do a transition walk to the B part. The transition walk is instead of ending with, you're going to, oh, sorry, got into, it's such a fun tune. You'll want to ornament it as you play it. So then you play the B part twice. So here is the entire tune in the Play Along with Scott section. Alrighty, so use the A and the B part where I played through that to learn each section of the tune, then go to the Play Along with Scott section. And I tried to do that just a smidge faster than where I introduced the sections. And so just play along with me a few times to get used to it, and then see how much you know all by yourself. And then go and listen to a few recordings. You can find some really fun recordings and slow it down and play along with them too. So anyway, great fun. So let's think about any challenges you might experience. The first challenge is you're not gonna hear this played at the pace I just played it to introduce it. It's 2/4. Bum bum bada bada bum 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 bada bada bum bum bum. So it's a good quick tune, but it's a lot of fun. I said I'd tell you some of the things that are going to be really helpful. It's almost like a scale exercise in a tune, because you've got that. And then you've got to hit that B, C sharp, D, B, and then go down to the A, and it's good, real good dexterity work in a tune. So it's a lot of fun. You are going to have to play the second octave A, and if you're having trouble hitting that A there in that second, in the B part, slide up to it. And that's a little easier. Or bounce up to it, like off of a tap or something, because I didn't really slide up to it there. I kind of really modified a tap to jump into it. So that's fine too. You're able to do that. Ornamentation and expression. From an expression standpoint, this is a fun dance tune. Have a great time with it. So that's that. I've heard a lot of people just play it straight. Although those first two notes, every time you see that second octave D repeated, it's not meant to be played like that. I've heard some people play it with a crayon leading into it, because it is a D, or cutting the second note, but you've got to tongue and hit hard the other note, so it's got to be punchy. A little bit like, it's got to be that, or hard tongue the note twice. So do something like that. And I'm going to play a practice session to give some of my sense in a day or two of my sense of what I'm doing and feeling with this. But I've heard people do all kinds of things, from that in the start, But I've heard some people then from there on the higher notes to start to slide to them. I like that on some of them, but you could get carried away with that too much. But do a lot of just bouncy jumping in there. Experiment with it. Listen to different people. I'll share my practice session in a day or two. Because if I'm doing a practice session, I don't need to be too far into my learning of the tune to really be a demonstration of how I'm playing it. So I want it to be a practice. So anyway, thinking through the history of the tune, not tons really to know. It's a polka, so it's not like ancient. It's, probably came to Ireland at the earliest, depending upon how it came and who is the author. Late 18th, early mid 19th. Late 19th, early 20th century. I'm getting my centuries mixed up. Sorry about that. The polka, as I said, goes by a few names. John Ryan's, the Armagh Polka, or Sean Ryan. Some people even call it the Dum Dum Polka because it's dum dum ba da ba da bum 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 dum dum. Like you really hit the bodhrán real hard there. So anyway, it's another tune for which we don't have a great deal of clarity on the origins. Some say that Sean Ryan, the great concertina player, who was born in 1919 in County Tipperary, died in 1985, that he may have authored it. Others say it's just this old tune that he helped popularize. The Planksties played a version that became very popular in the early 1970s, and then it was featured in the movie Titanic. And so people just fell in love with it from there. There's not really a lot of, there's some speculation, but there's not a lot of other clarity on the tune. My friends, I hope you really have a great time. Pour yourself into learning the core of the tune. Then just have fun with it. Learn it, enjoy it, and go from there. In a couple of days, I'll share a practice session. Until then, my friends, this is Scott Shade. One other thing. Remember, we've said before, pull out your high D so you're not cramping your fingers up trying to learn all that on the low D, and you could play it on your high D. And figure out how you want to ornament it, and then pick up your high D, your low D. A lot of our friends have found that a little more helpful. Until next time, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling, my friends.